this is arguably the most iconic building, probably within NASA, but certainly within Kennedy Space Center. It's pretty synonymous with KSC. Every single vehicle that has carried humans beyond low Earth orbit has been assembled, integrated, tested, and rolled out from this facility. So those are all of the Apollo vehicles, all of the Saturn V's that carried our Apollo astronauts, all of our orbiters, our space shuttle orbiters have all been assembled in here. And then now SLS vehicle that was our test flight vehicle, that's for Artemis, for our Artemis missions. Artemis 1 was a test flight, an uncrewed test flight. Artemis 2 will be a crew test flight. Those are being assembled in here. You'll actually have an opportunity to see that rocket today. The only thing that it's waiting for, it's been stacked and integrated. We're waiting for the the Orion adapter and the Orion vehicle to go on top, and it will be fully assembled, which is pretty cool. You heard Secretary Duffy talk about that a little bit today. We're targeting early 2026. I believe the official launch date is April, but people are working literally around the clock 24/7. Hoping to get this vehicle ready safely, quickly, so that we can, again, have humans around the moon as quickly as possible in preparation for deep space exploration to Mars and beyond. So pretty exciting. If you look at this, you can get a sense of how big it is. Standing outside of it, it's like, wow, that's really big. But this building is 525 feet tall, which means that you can actually fit the Statue of Liberty inside this building. So it's in actually a half again. So you could actually fit 1.5 Statues of Liberty inside this vehicle assembly building. On the ground, it takes up about 4 acres. That's the size of a neighborhood with about 400 houses in it. So if you think of your regular suburban neighborhood, it could fit inside here. It's one of the largest buildings by volume in the world. But what's really interesting is when you go in, there's a lot of negative space. So you see there are different platforms that aid in the assembly. There are 4 high bays on each of the corners. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the bays where we build the super tall rockets, and then we have low bays that can fit some shorter vehicles. So all in, you could process up to 8 launch vehicles in this building at one time if you wanted to. So we'll go in. The main area is called the turn aisle. When we bring in flight hardware, so the boosters for this vehicle, does anybody know where those are? Where those come from? Our solid rocket boosters. They actually come from Utah. They're actually put in Utah. They come in by railway. They're too large to travel on a road. They're too volatile to travel by air, so we put those on a train. We have our own private train track and a rocket processing facility that those boosters come in. They're kept in our rocket processing facility. And then they're brought over here, and each of those segments are stacked. We have our core stage. Who knows where a core stage comes from? Yep. So that actually comes in right over here. We're going to be watching the launch from where it comes in on the wharf. So what's really interesting about Kennedy is that we use all modes of transportation to be able to meet our mission. So we have our boosters that come in by rail. We have the core stage and other hardware that comes in by water. This is a man-made wharf in a series of canals that come in. We use the same wharf for the shuttle program to bring in our external tanks when they come in, and now we use it for the core stage. So that core stage actually comes in, it's wheeled down this road. It pulled directly into this, almost like a large garage that goes into the turn aisle. And then we have some heavy lift cranes that come in, actually bring that hardware vertical and then move it over to where it needs to go. The Orion, you guys saw Orion crew vehicle. The crew capsule is actually worked in the high bay over at the ONC. So it takes that same drive that we made to get over here and to get into the VAB. That will top once we have the adapter, the vehicle adapter. We'll get the SLS. We'll have the vehicle adapter put on, and then the launch vehicle, the crew capsule will go on very, very end before they do the rest of their testing and integration. So all of that takes place here. This building was built, construction commenced in 1962, so it's about 63 years old. It is on the Register of Historic Buildings, and it has actually been awarded an Enduring Architecture Award just for the work. It is a one-of-a-kind building. It was actually designed and built specifically for this purpose. When we go inside, you'll see we have a series of elevators. What's really cool is that there aren't designated floors in here, so we have levels, but the floors actually move up and down. So you have a platform that comes out around the vehicle, and that platform can go up and down, so you don't have a designated floor at each one of those elevator stops, which is pretty cool. So it's a very, very unique building, and you'll see it when we get in there. I'm trying to think. If you want to look up, can anyone see out the window all the way up what's on the right side of this? So that NASA meatball and the American flag is one of the largest in the world. I think it's not the largest anymore. I think we got beat out by another project, but for reference, that is 209 feet tall and 110 feet wide. The bus that we're sitting on right now is about 40 feet. So if you think about it, you can fit about 4.5 of these buses on one of the red stripes of that American flag. It takes 500 gallons of paint if you needed to repaint both of those. The flag and the NASA meatball were put on in the 70s for the bicentennial celebration, and we've continued to update them. The last time they were painted was in 2004, I think, 2007. It was repainted after we had a series of hurricanes in 2004. If we have any Florida natives, I'm sure you remember the summer of 2004. It was a wild one.